There we go. Hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Anthony. I see you outside there. Hello,
Yeah, girl,
everyone.
listen, we have an event going on, and I'll tell you what, it is good. We got some ribs, some chicken. I don't know what else the brother got over there, but he got some. Oh man, he got some food cooking. Then I have uh some type of ice cold beverage, like an ice cream from Rita's truck. Oh man, hey look, you know what I'm gonna do? Since I'm live and I am on location, I'm bringing y'all with me. So whether you're in Savannah, Garden City, Rankin, wherever you are, I just want you to see what we got going on. This is where
Yeah.
I got this beautiful drink right here. This thing was good. It was a peach mango something. It was good. Now hold it. Wait a minute. I don't want to stop there. Look at this. Can y'all see that food? Can y'all? Can
Oh,
y'all?
yeah.
Can?
All right.
Hey, look. I'm telling y'all, we're here for financial literacy, and what I wanted to do is just invite a few folks to enjoy uh, the ambiance and learn at the same time about financial literacy, because financial literacy, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. Learning how the money works. My name is Anthony Murray. I'm with WFG Rankin Financial Center here in the beautiful city of Rankin. I am your retirement expert. So I'm excited about it. We're going to have a great day today. Flo, back to you. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay. I'm going to try to
Okay.
stay for the whole thing, Flo.
All
We,
right.
we, we lost Renetta.
She'll
I
be
guess
back.
she'll be back.
She'll be back. Well,
All right.
welcome everyone out there. This is Mad Flow. I'm not crazy, but I am mad about making a difference in the life of others through financial literacy. And this is what we do. We're so excited to have you here today. We have a great guest that's coming on today that's going to teach you how to make your money work hard for you. Because I tell you what, I know I work hard for my money, and I want my money to be able to do what? While I'm sleeping, I want my money to continue to work. And so this is what we do. We teach people how to make the money work hard for you. So this is what we are lined up today. We have a great guest today. She'll be coming on in a little bit. Her name is Renee Reeder. Waiting for her to come on. But I'm gonna tell you something that I watched last night. I want you guys to try to tune in if you have Netflix. Netflix has a great documentary called Get Smart with Money. Get Smart with Money. It was released last Tuesday. And basically, it shares the same information that we're sharing. All the information that we're giving is not new information. It's only new if this is the first time you've heard of it. So, look like we have Rhenita Reeder, our guest, is on board here. Glad to have you. But before we get to you, Renetta, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, hello, everyone. I was, stepped out of the studio for a moment. We were having some technical difficulties getting our guest on, so that's where I was. But I want to say to everyone, happy Friday. It sounds like my co-hosts are having great Fridays. Anthony, you're out on location doing what you do. Our show is always about financial literacy. I see you're out on location, doing a bit of that. And we're so excited today to have our special guest on the show. Her name is Rhenita Reeder. She's going to be talking with us about the debt doesn't define us, and it's such an important topic because as we talk about credit
Right here.
and what happens with credit and what happens
Oh,
when we're bogged down in debt, we
Are
do
you trying
feel
to
like
find
it defines
Joel?
us because it can be
Right.
sometimes
All right.
crippling
Hold on one moment.
for many of us. And to be able to understand what we need to do and how to make our money work for us, I think is just going to be an enlightening a wonderful. So please, everyone, tell everybody, our listening audience, grab a friend, connect them to our show today. Our link is there. Go on our Facebook Live and please listen to what Ms. Reeder has to share with us today. So I would like to say welcome, Rhenita Reeder. And your name is so similar to mine. I'm Rhenita, you're Rhenita. So there's some kindred connection already going on.
Right.
So welcome to our show today. Jump in, tell us what we need to know.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me here today. I consider this a privilege and I don't take it lightly. I've been involved with the financial industry with World Financial Group for 6 years. And in the last couple of years, I've seen an increase in my knowledge and ability and confidence in working with individuals. Now, because of what we do, I'm going to give an example. I'm going to talk about some principles. But one thing I want you to think about is one of the things that we do is a personal financial review. The purpose of that is to look within your household to create more income. We worked with a family just last week. They were stretched, they were stressed, and stress causes illness. And when we looked at where they were spending their money, we found $250, a little bit more that can
be $250. That's a lot of money
just to be redirected.
Yes.
So they're very happy. We're still working with them. And always remember, we work at the pace of the families that we're working with. Some are fast, some are not, but depends on how they process information and how quickly they can process it and when they're ready to move. So just keep that in mind. The first principle I want to talk about is the fact that we have the power of choice. Because we have over 77 different companies that we can work with, we actually represent our family to the company. So we do that personal financial review. We find out what the family's goals, desires, and dreams are. We help families dream again. And then we find the solution for what they need.
Well, let me interrupt just for a minute. And you're talking about choice and power in choice. And what happens when you meet a family that has lost, their vision for dream? How do you re-engage? Because that's so important, because if you can't dream it, then you will never be able to visualize it.
Right. Well, we first talk about, what were your dreams when you left high school or when you graduated from college? So did your dreams shrink to meet your income, or were you able to increase your income so that you could have your dreams?
Wonderful.
So we just start there, because I'll give you a good example. I had bought a condo in New York, been there for 6 years. And then going through, even with working with families, I was looking to help one of my church members who was considering refinancing his home. Mm-hmm. And so on our platform, we have someone that does that. And I got all the information. And then I realized that I wasn't dreaming anymore. Wow. So, and then during COVID, when it first started, I bought a house. I'm single. I bought a house. I had 3-bedroom home now. And it's like, okay, if I want to wash my car in my driveway, now I can do it.
Now you can do it. That's an awesome feeling.
But I had stopped dreaming.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
yes, and it's so important to to be able to dream and to feel like your dreams can come to fruition. Because exactly. I think you're right. People stop dreaming when, like you said, if there's a disconnect, between what you're able to do financially mm-hmm. and your dreams, then oftentimes we do shrink the dream to meet the finances. Mm-hmm. And we do have to change our mindset but understand the tools that are out there available for us to be able to do
absolutely. Mm-hmm. And one of that personal financial review helps us to define what that family wants. Okay. And because we're not, go ahead, you had a question?
No,
Mad Flow?
I had to step out. Manflow has stepped
Oh,
out
okay.
for a
All
minute.
right.
I'm just getting
Okay. Yeah. So, you've heard of companies like Pacific Life, Transamerica, Nationwide. We know the jingle. Nationwide is on our side.
You're right.
And so the principles and the products and services that they provide, we share that information with the family. And some say, oh, this sounds too good to be true. And the question is it too good to be true, or have you never heard of it before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And doing things like doing that budget. Stop using the debit card, use cash because it helps you control what you're spending. Having a written budget, just having that mindset when you're going out and deciding whether or not you're going to spend money. Even something like going to Dunkin' Donuts or to go get that favorite thing that you don't usually get. So every once in a while, I get a craving for a donut, but I don't go get it right away. I ask myself, do I really need it? And if I'm still thinking about it for a couple of days or a week, then I go get the donut. Okay. But then it's planned. Having a legacy, leaving for your family. How many people have a will or a trust fund? We have a company on our platform. It's LSPN. And I just completed my own trust fund and will. So we have all of that in place.
Yes.
What about Everest? Everest is exclusive to our platform. How many families do we know, or how many GoFundMe accounts have been created to bury one of our loved ones? There's no need for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've been, so many we see come across, and and through no fault, really, because
Right.
people, we don't know what we don't know. And
Exactly.
until we start educating our communities, we won't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because people say, well, why did this happen, and why are they doing that? Because they didn't know that
Mm-hmm.
they weren't explained that there are other options and that there are
Exactly.
tools out there, and weren't taught to plan early, and to
Exactly.
understand. And I think so platforms like this and opportunities like this to disseminate information, to get that out there so people understand,
Mm-hmm.
how to manage money and how to understand what needs to be done and what's out there. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Hey, Miss Reeder,
Yes.
very happy to have you on the show. Very happy to have you here. You
Thank
shared some
you.
great information. But would you do something for me? The
Mm-hmm.
acronym LSPN, so that our audience will know what those letters stand for.
And
Just
I
go
have to
ahead.
apologize. I know what it's for, but I don't know the acronym for the
Okay, Legacy
LSPN.
Shield. Is that the Legacy Shield one?
No, it's not Legacy Shield. It used to, that they're
Legal.
separate. No, it's not
Legacy.
Legal
Okay.
Shield. This
Okay.
is a total different organization, and what they do is they concentrate on creating the trust funds for families.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I have that too. So I have to remember I'm in WFG as well. So I have that.
Okay, great. So
And Legal Shield used to be Legacy Shield, but they changed it.
right.
Is linked now. Is something was linked. So I'm gonna look it up real quick. If that's
Yes, thank you. Yeah, the reason they separate is because Legacy Shield was going in one direction, and the legal part that we're dealing with went into another direction.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have that same platform when it
Yes.
first came out. Then they switched over to the links.
Yes.
And then they transferred all of my stuff over to links. And what I love about that is the fact that I'm able to give one of those what they call them seats. It costs $100. So with the benefit of them doing their will, doing their power of attorney. So I'm able to share one of those seats with my clientele as a gift. So I love that. And I've done my will and power of attorney with that. And then you mentioned something else about budgeting. And I agree with that. I just purchased this. I don't know if y'all can see this, but it is a budget planner for the whole year. I'm able to keep all of my expenses in here, all my daily expenses, monthly budget plan, a little short calendar, monthly budget review, expense tracker, savings tracker, debt tracker, regular bill tracker, pocket for bills. So if you want to really get on board, just like Ms. Reeder said, you have to do the budget. And I love it on paper. I used to do it on the computer. I love taking mine with me. So when I travel out of town, if I'm on vacation, whatever, this goes with me, and I'm able to basically write down all of my expenses as I travel. And it's very compact. So I love the fact that you brought that up. The budget thing. One of the platforms we need to have is one of the principles we need to have is definitely budgeting.
Where did you find your budget planner?
I went through. I'm an Amazon.
Okay.
The guru, the queen, or whatever.
Yes, you are, Flo.
And I found some great. And I bought this one. It's very small. It's called Jubtic. Jubtic. And I went through a couple of them, read a couple of reviews on all of them, and I put this one here. But it's 12 months, and everything is in here that you need. So it's very compact. Love it. There's one thing about, when we teach financial literacy, we discuss budget and the fact you have to keep track of your records.
Absolutely. So I'm going to order one of those when I get off.
Okay.
Right. I think we all will.
Yeah. So if we're using the tools, then we have the right to recommend it.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Definitely.
So I'd like to talk about the rule of 72. So Flo knows what it is, but has anybody else ever heard of it? The rule.
Let's give our audience a chance. If anybody in the audience can respond to Ms. Reeder, if they know what the rule of 72 is, if you're on Facebook, put it in chat right now and say, I know what rule of 72 is. We got 6 people that's watching right now. I don't know who's listening, but if you think you know it, just take and tell Ms. Reeder, I know what the rule of 72 is, and put in the chat box for us in the comments on Facebook, and we'll see what your knowledge is. We just give maybe about a minute, and then Ms. Reeder will go ahead and explain what the rule of 72 is.
Well, what's interesting is this particular rule can work for us or against us. Most times it's working against us.
Okay, so someone's heard of it. And then others are saying they would love to hear, they would love to know. So let us know about the rule of 72.
Okay, the rule of 72 was discovered by Einstein, and he said it should be the 8th wonder of the world. When you look at the account that you have your money in, you look at the interest that it's earning. You divide that interest. Right now, let's use 1%. 1 into 72 means it would go in there 72 times. So it will take 72 years for a $10,000 amount that's in an account to double. So let's say the individual is 29 years old. They put $10,000 in this account. It earns 1% interest. It would double 72 years later at age 101, and they would only have $20,000.
Okay, so what should we do?
Well, we should talk to Flo and myself about learning how their money can earn 12% or more and have that rule of 72 work in their favor. So 12 into 72 means the money would double every 6 years. So that same $10,000 that 29-year-old put into an account would double at age 35. They would have 20,000. At age 41, they would have 40,000. And every 6 years, it would double. And by age 65, they could have access to $640,000.
Okay, our young people out there understand that this is the time to start investing early. Something like 10,000 that can turn into 600 is awesome. Is awesome, and everybody should be paying attention to how to do that. Absolutely.
And again, that same rule works against us if we have a loan, any kind of loan, and the interest rates are much higher. So your money will double a lot quicker.
So you're saying, so what we owe, so you're saying how it works against us. So that same principle, you know, I guess the extended life of a loan, you know. So in a situation like that, then what should we do? I mean, we've taken out a loan. We needed to take out a loan, you know. So how do we position ourselves to either cut that loan down or, you know, get better interest on a loan?
Well, at times you can call the creditor. In some cases, you can ask them to reduce the interest rate, but that's not happening too much today because of what's going on. Okay. You can put a plan in place to start paying off those items. Let's say you have 3 credit cards and a car loan. So you start paying off the lesser amount on the credit card. You pay a little more, and then you pay that off. And then once you've paid that one off, you take whatever you were paying on that card and add it to the payment for the next card.
Is that the snowball effect?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And then in some cases, it is okay, but you have to look at the whole picture to get a credit card that would allow you to move the balances into this one that has a zero interest rate for 1 year, and then pay off as much as you can before that year is out. But also remember, they charge you a certain percentage when you move it over. So that's why you have to look at the whole picture and see which one works best for your particular situation. And then stop using the cards.
So stop using, and so if we stop using credit cards, I mean, does that affect our credit rate, or, you know, how does that work?
No, because if you're paying it off, you're paying it regularly. So your credit score will continue to go up. And in order to be able to stop using the cards, you got to put a system in place so that you have money that you can use. So when I first started, good example, I had started using the principles, and I had just a group of envelopes. So every payday, I would put money in the envelope, put it in my drawer, and then that's how I started saving money. I had a car accident where I had to have my car towed. I was okay. And instead of using my credit card to pay for the tow, I had accumulated enough money that I could pay that $400 tow fee. So I continued that process. And yeah, so you just have to plan for it. So our mindset has to change, and we have to be willing to apply what we're learning. Because if we don't apply it, nothing will change.
That's true.
Right. Absolutely. And you talk about envelopes. I remember, and you know, Flo, you know, I'm always going back because our grandparents and our great grandparents, you know, they used to do that. They used to stuff money all over the house.
Oh my
You know, and growing up, we're like, what are you doing? Why is there money? But if you think about it, and you're sitting at your grandmother's house, your great grandmother's house, and they're putting money in an envelope, you know, and you know, this is for this and that is for that. And it's just amazing that they had those principles back then. And we probably, you know, thought, what are you doing? But, you know, hearing you, Rhenita, say how important that still is.
Yes.
You know, to be able to take that money out so that you have that dedicated money. And for you, you know, I remember my great grandmother and my grandmother would say, even if you just put $5, you know, they always said, if you just put $5 aside every pay period, you know, you don't realize how much money you'll have. So in case you have an emergency, like like you stated, you have something there that helps you with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Another.
Go ahead. Remember, I told you this story when I first started as a waitress, 21 years of age, and moving out of my mom's home into my own apartment. And I was saying, how am I going to pay these bills? But this is what I did. Every day that I work, there's 2 pockets on my apron as a waitress. My first $10 tip that I made, when it accumulated $10, it went into my right pocket. Everything else after that went to my left pocket. When I got home, I took everything out of that right pocket and, the $10 out of that right pocket, put it in a shoebox that I had in the closet up to the top in the dark. And every day I did it. That was $10 a day that I was saving. So at the end of end of the month, I had more than enough that I needed to pay for my rent, my utilities, and then I had enough left over to put something aside for my savings. Yeah. So it worked, but that was my system, and I did that for 3 years when I worked at waitress, and it worked. And I'm telling you, anyone that's out there that has cash like this, barbers, hairstylists, waiters, waitresses, if y'all are getting money every day, you need to have some kind of system in place where you're putting something aside for your future and for your emergency fund, because this money's going to go through your fingers like I don't know what.
Yes.
That was my system. It worked. That was my budget plan, and it worked.
So tell us about the next principle.
Well, can I share one more thing before we move on?
Yes.
Those who are Christians, and you attend a church that's your home church where you're getting meat from, even in tithing, we can do the same thing. We can start that principle the same way. And last year or this year, I tithed from my tax return. And then I'd never had a check returned from my bank. So the bank told me we're returning this because it was not cashed. I've been doing this for years, okay? And I had to go have service done on my car. And I was like, oh, how am I going to pay this? Because I didn't want to use my credit card, okay? And I got that check. It was for $660. And at first it's like, oh, I got to call the pastor. I don't know why this check came back. And I said, wait a minute. What did you ask God for? So that's what I use to service.
Absolutely. Everything is always, you've got to have a faith walk. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what financial advice could you give to students who are transitioning into adulthood as you talk about the principles? Kind of add some tips in for our students.
Well, be sure to understand how money works. They don't need to invest in the stock market because, of course, you can get a high rate of return, but then you can lose money. But there is indexing that is an advantage that we did not know about before. Indexing means you're putting money that you've already paid taxes on into a vehicle that earns compounded interest. And every time it earns interest, it's locked in. You never have to worry about losing it. And one of the tools that allows us, and that the wealthy use all the time, is cash value in life insurance. Okay, cash value in life insurance. And I have a policy that I can borrow from. And I wanted to know, and earlier I said, we can, when we use what we're talking about, we can teach on it. When I sold my condo, I wanted to know, okay, well, how much can I borrow? Keyword is borrow. You can borrow from your cash value life insurance, and it doesn't change your income for that year, and it's not counted as income. So I borrowed. They told me what I could borrow. I borrowed that amount, and I had it within 2 days. I didn't have to jump through hoops and go to a traditional bank and go through all that hassle to get a loan. And I could choose to pay it back or not choose to pay it back.
Because it's yours.
Because it's mine. Right. Oh. So go ahead, Flo.
Oh, Rita, when you talked about that, everybody knows my little story. When you're in bankruptcy, who can you borrow from?
Nobody.
But yourself, if you have a cash bearing account.
Exactly.
And I was in bankruptcy for 5 years. Thank God that I was introduced to this company prior to bankruptcy.
See?
And I was able to get, just like you said, index universal life policies. And the accumulation of cash that built up in those policies for 6 or 7 years when I needed it, I was able to borrow while I was in bankruptcy over
Mm-hmm.
$18,000 from my cash bearing account, and I chose to pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
This is the key, guys. Also, when I borrowed that money, I did not accumulate another bill
Nope.
because my premium paid for my loan. So I did not accumulate another
Mm-hmm.
bill. And on top of that, I'm out of bankruptcy now. I have borrowed over $10,000 more out of my account to work towards
Mm-hmm.
my business or whatever I need to do it for. Didn't have to pay taxes on that money. Don't have to pay it back if I don't want to, but I
Right.
choose to pay it back so I can build that cash reserve
Mm-hmm.
back up and have it available for me. So
Exactly.
thank you for bringing those bring that great information up about borrowing
Mhm.
from yourself from cash
Yes.
value policies.
Right. Now, our younger generation, they're a immediate gratification generation. So even though they want immediate gratification, we can show them how they can still have that, but still prepare for later on in life. And the younger you acquire life insurance, the lesser the amount and the more money you can accumulate. So most of our young people, they don't want to work until they're 65, and most likely they'll have several jobs before they even reach that age. But
Mhm.
let's say they work for 10 years, they don't like what they're doing, but they want to do something else. And we see how the job market has changed. Most people are switching, so they have that option to go do whatever they want to do because they have money that they can access through their cash value life insurance and still live the lifestyle that they want.
Awesome. Awesome. Take us to the next principle.
Okay, well, we talked about distribution, the distribution phase, like when you retire, what are you going to do? Where are you going to access your funds? And regular checking account or anything like bank CDs, brokerage accounts, whatever you earn in that current year as far as interest, you pay tax on.
Mm-hmm.
When you have the traditional retirement accounts, your 401ks, IRAs, those type of accounts, you're putting money in there that you have not paid taxes on. So when you are ready to access those funds, you're paying tax on what you initially put in there and any interest earned. So we end up paying more money. And if we pay the taxes today, they're around 36% right now. It's considered a tax sale because when the 401k was actually created, the tax bracket was like 78%.
Oh.
So the wealthy wanted to know, well, what can we do so we don't have to pay taxes now? And Ted Benna is the one who created the 401k. And even he says it's an experiment that failed because it was never intended to be a retirement vehicle for individuals. And every time they lose money, I'll give you an example. Okay, I have $100 in a variable account. I just lost $50. I lost half of it. Now the interest rate goes up 50%. What do I have left?
Shoot, 25.
I only have $75 because when it went back up 50%, I was only getting 50% of what I had left in my account, which was $50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we lose money, it takes time to get back to where you were. And a lot of times people don't have a lot of time.
Right.
Okay. Now, right now, we are able to help individuals roll over their retirement funds without any penalties. And depending on what company the individual chooses to work with, because remember, we give them a couple of options and the client chooses what they want. Some of them can get a bonus for rolling their money over.
A bonus for rolling over your money?
Yes. Yes.
So explain that. How does that work? Is that based on the company?
Well, if you are over 59 and a half, or if you have left a company that you work with to move to another one, you have the opportunity to roll your funds over from your current account. And then we just go through a process, an application, and the funds have to be eligible to be moved. And you can have a fixed index annuity where the funds go into that account. You earn the rollover if the company has one, the bonus, and then the money grows there. And they have guaranteed income. So even if the money doesn't go past your lifetime, because you have created this, you will still get that income until you pass away.
All right. Hey, let me jump in real quick.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So just one um, slight adjustment on that. You could actually be less than 59 and a half if you're going to do a rollover. All right. If you're going to do a rollover. But if you're going to take that, and you have so much time to do that. All right. But if you take that money out before 59 and a half and you want to use it for something, then that's when you're going to be charged um, the tax, all right, plus the 10% penalty,
Mm-hmm.
plus whatever fee was involved. So
Mm-hmm.
when you roll over, you're going to avoid the tax and the penalty, but not
Mm-hmm.
the fee. Not the fee. So whatever company with, if they're charging, if that instrument is fee based, yeah, they're going to get their money. All right. So you're not going to avoid that, but you are going to avoid that penalty, and you're going to avoid those taxes, and you're going to roll them over into something that is still going to be tax deferred, and it will still accumulate tax deferred. And then when you take that money out, you will pay taxes on the money that you take out, but not on the principal. All right, I just want to throw that in. I'm sorry I've been going back and forth. As y'all know, I am here on location. And listen, it is a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. We're teaching financial literacy. Look at that. Can y'all see that? Y'all see that?
Yes.
Financial literacy. That's where it's at.
Yes.
I've got to run. So I know we're going back and forth, because this conversation is powerful. But I wanted to tease y'all and show you the plate of food that I bought. But
Uh-oh.
it's too late.
I know you ate it.
Because you've enjoyed it.
It's too late. All right. So, but it's not too late for y'all to come and pick up your own. Right up here, 272 South Columbia Avenue, Rankin. God bless you. Hey, we love y'all. Keep up the good work. Y'all keep teaching them about financial literacy and keep teaching them about rolling that money over and how they can make money. Their money can make money so they stop losing so much money. We got
Exactly.
to reach the people. All right,
Yes.
y'all. I'm out.
Thank you, Anthony.
We'll see y'all. All right.
Absolutely. Someone says they took 50%. Uh, Mr. Leroy Green, they took 50%.
Mm.
When they had to reach into theirs, and that's why we're making sure that we get this information out so that people understand that there are options. So
Mhm.
thank you for for
Mhm.
sharing. Absolutely.
So
Wow.
So go ahead, Rhenita. We have several more to get through, to get to. Go ahead.
okay. So then again, with the personal financial review, there's 6 areas that we look at. We look at increasing the cash flow. We look at college planning. We know that there are accounts like 529s and other school accounts, and the majority of them, the funds are affected by the interest rates going up and down. But again, with a cash value life insurance policy, and this is what the Rockefellers have done for years, this is how they have created their wealth and kept it going, is having these policies in place. And then the funds for college are right there. And let's say the child doesn't want to go to college, the parent still owns that policy. So they can use that money for whatever they want to use it for.
Mhm.
If they want to give it to the child when they reach a certain age, they can do that. That child doesn't have to worry about retirement If the parents want to go blow it on a car, it doesn't matter, but that's there. And then with creating the family legacy, we can provide the financing for our family when they want to do something, because we bypass the bank, because we're doing what the bank currently does. And there's a book, Money, Wealth, and Life Insurance, that talks about this. And what the bank does, they borrow our money without our permission. They loan it out to our neighbors, and they take the money and they put it in life insurance policies. Now they're earning 6 to 12% tax-free on that money, our money. So what we're able to do is bypass the bank, have our own insurance, cash value, life insurance, and pay ourselves and earn that 6 to 12%. Big difference.
That is a big difference. That is a big difference. I think a lot of people don't understand how the banking system utilizes the income, or utilizes the money from those who bank with them to be able to do the other things that the banking institutions.
JC Penney, when they were having financial issues, he used money from his cash value life insurance to pay his employees to keep them from going out of business.
Hey, that's something.
Walt Disney, part of the money that he used to create Disney World came from insurance policies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting to know and to understand, that we can use what is rightfully ours in those policies, you're kind of your own mini bank.
Exactly. And we've had
myself.
Yes. Oh, yes.
We've have people say, well, I don't believe in life insurance. It's not a religion, it's a tool.
Wow. That was powerful. To understand, to use it as a tool.
Right.
Not just holding on to that, to use it, when someone passes away. But you said it's a tool that you can use, in the present.
Exactly. And one other thing I want to talk about, proper protection, protecting our ability to bring in income. So we start asking individuals or families, well, what happens if you don't come home tonight? What happens to your family? We had an agent, and you do not have to be an agent or part of WFG to take advantage of our services. We do not charge for our services, because if we charge, how many more people would not get the information?
Right.
And this gentleman got what's called a trendsetter LB meaning living benefits policy. He made about 2 or 3 premium payments. He had a heart attack, and I'm happy to report he has survived. He's doing well. But because he had this particular policy in place, the policy paid him over $353,000. So most people don't even know that there is a term policy that will pay you if you get sick.
Yeah, that's some information I'm sure that most of our audience doesn't know.
Right.
Flo, did you know that? Of course you knew that.
Yes, I just actually one of my clients just got approved for a $385,000 LB, Trendsetter LB.
Yes.
And he's 40 years old and he needs it.
Yes.
And only paying $59.53. So it's not an expensive policy either.
Hey, that's quite an investment, a well worth it investment. And that's how we have to start looking at things. It's an investment toward our present, an investment toward our future, an investment in our legacies.
Yeah, one of our other clients, or one of my other associates, was sharing with us one day that he received a call from one of his clients calling to say that he was going to cancel his policy. So he said, okay, let me talk to your family, put me on speaker. And he told the family that this is what your dad is about to do. So he's not caring. Well, I'm not saying these are his exact words, but after he finished talking to the family, the the husband didn't cancel the policy.
Mhm. It's
Because you're
about
protecting the
understanding.
family. Yeah.
Yes, and understanding, that, as we prioritize the things that we put our money into, how
Mm-hmm.
important it is to understand what a life benefit can do for our families.
Exactly.
And sometimes, and again, it's about prioritizing, and it's about understanding and having the knowledge and the tools to
Mm-hmm.
understand, fully what that type of policy can do.
Right. And my grandson, well, my daughter was my first client. Okay. But then recently, my grandson, over a year ago, became a client. And we've had conversations where he says, I think I'm going to cancel my policy. And I go back and review again the reason that he has it and remind him how much he is worth. He's worth over $300,000 because of his policy.
Mhm.
Now, these policies can be used as collateral when you want to do business or whatever. Okay. And then recently he purchased a motorcycle. So I told him, please be sure you keep your policies in place so your mother doesn't have to worry. Okay.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
sometimes when they're younger, they'll do it initially, but then they have to remember, we have to remind them the reason that they have it. Because when things get tough financially, they need to know that this is something they need to keep because it's protecting them. But then just being able to remind them and assure them, things are going to get better. We're doing another personal financial review. Let's look at where your money is, And every year in our team, and I know Flo does it too, we do a review with our clients every year. Sometimes we might do it every 6 months, depending on what's going on with that client. And we build a relationship. So as they get married, they buy a home, they lose a loved one, whatever's going on, we are there with them. So it's like, for me, if I'm in your life, you don't get rid of me.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful to know. That is, this information, and I hope everyone understands, how this can impact, your futures, and that's what we're talking about, preparing ourselves, for our future. And a lot of times when we're in the present, especially when we're young, right, at our young ages, we felt so invincible that we didn't need anything. And I think making sure that as you all are doing is you reiterate and reiterate and reiterate, drive that point home so people know that yes, right now you feel invincible, but the future is coming. And we
Yes.
want to be as prepared for it financially as we possibly can. And we want to continue to make sure that we are delivering those financial nuggets. Flo, you look like there's something you're about to say.
No, no, no. Mm-mm. Clear my throat. But great
Okay.
information. I'm telling you, great information. And I like the fact that what you did, I'm going to do that as well. Put them on speakerphone with the family. So they'll know, the family would know, hey, my mom is about to do this. And I don't think put us on speakerphone. That's a great tactic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
one of the persons in our organization is Daniel Fambo and his wife, and they were in the medical field already making 6 figures. They stopped working in the medical field, and now they're in the financial wealth health field. And he actually went and talked to his uncle, got him approved for a term LB policy. When it was time to sign the documents, the uncle decided he didn't want the policy. And his reasoning was, okay, our family members, we lived till the 90s. We never have anything wrong with us. I don't want the policy. And Daniel couldn't convince him to go ahead and get it. So he didn't get the policy. But then he was in a car accident a few years later. He lost everything. And then he called Daniel, and he was saying, well, it's too late, uncle. I can't do anything. The damage is done. So, there's times where that will happen. But as long as we know that we've pushed calmly, nicely, and done everything that we can do, then, we can have a clear conscience.
Well, thank you. I think Any other questions, Flo?
No, I have no more
Any other
questions. I
comments?
mean, the information was very informative.
Yeah, it was. It was absolutely very, very informative. We must continue to have these conversations. You know, you, let's all say thank you to our guest, Rhenita Reeder. It's been a lovely Friday. You know, continue to tune in. We're going to continue to provide our community with financial tips.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you. So, in closing today, I will say that I am Rhenita Milner Gardner, your co host for Financial Sins. As always, we say, make it a great day. Thank you so much. A guest said that we have truly inspired and pushed them to do better. And that's what we want to do each and every Friday. Join us at 1 p.m. here. We're on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. I turn it over to you, Flo, to close us out.
All right. Thank you again, Rhenita Reeder, for being our guest today. The information was absolutely priceless, to tell you the truth. So everyone, this is All Things Relevant. Make sure you tune in, just like Rhenita said, every Friday, 1 p.m. Again, this is Mad Flo. I'm not crazy, but I am mad about making a difference for the life of others through financial literacy. We'll see you guys again next Friday, 1 p.m. And we may have all four of us on here next week. Anthony and Tanya may be joining us as well. Thank you again for the information. We see y'all again next Friday.
Okay.
Hey, we did it.
We did it. We did it. That's a wrap.
Yes. I got to give it to you and Tanya holding the fort down. You guys are doing a fantastic job. I'm going to call this Rhenita and Tanya's podcast.
Not at all. We are a team.
Y'all are doing wonderful. I thank y'all for, standing in and doing it. You guys got it together.
Hey, we're a team. We're going to keep this train going. So I am this weekend. My church is having a fish fry tomorrow. I'm on that committee. My niece is having a birthday party on Sunday. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't get a chance to rest. But
hey, my office back here, we're transitioning. We're no longer on one location. And so the new location that we're going to have, they're actually going to furnish the office furniture.
That's nice.
So I had to bring all of my furniture over here in my little office that I had as Mary Kay office.
Yeah.
So I'm convert this as a second location.
I got you. That's nice.
So it's a mess back there, but I think by next week you're going to see something nice.
Yeah, hopefully I just got to put, I have to remember to go into my office. I'm still trying to find a chair. So maybe next week I'll be in my little cubby in my house that I'm dedicating to my office space as well. But for now, I'm at the dining room table.
It looks nice. All
So
right. Thank you.
have a good weekend.
You too. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.
like this.